Myron Gaines, you have been going to college campuses, and you've been invoking your First Amendment right. I think we can all agree here that the First Amendment is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I think it's an even better thing when people actually use it to say things that they believe. And from the things that I've seen you say, it seems to be the case that either A, you're mentally disabled, or B, you don't actually believe any of the things that you say. So, let's talk about these things. I.C.E did nothing wrong. Alex Preddy is the most hot topic. Let's discuss it. I think any person with reasonable intuitions would see what happened to Alex and say that was a state-sanctioned execution. Talked about it.
So your position is that it was a state-sanctioned execution?
Yeah, more or less. Putting it generally, but yeah, sure.
How you interpret it is up to you, but it's legally justified.
How is it legally justified?
Don't commit a felony and then be armed while doing so.
So committing a felony, because you're talking about him brushing his hip, but you know what? He did touch him. I will grant that.
Then that's it. That ends right there. That's the crime.
Absolutely not.
It ends right there. You do
So
not. You
what-
cannot. Hold on.
Go for it.
You cannot touch a federal agent while they're in the middle of an enforcement operation. That is a crime under 18 U.S.C. 111, assault and impeding. Can't do that. And to do that and then resist being detained or arrested after the fact while armed is not intelligent.
So what is the use of force continuum then? Because you know that. You work with DHS. What's the use of force continuum?
Well, he touched him. So while he was in the middle of dealing with another individual, he pepper sprayed the guy.
He did.
Tried to grab his hand, get him to the floor. He resisted. And then obviously it escalated from there.
And now at what point, because with the use of force continuum, if you're going to shoot someone in the back, approximately, was it 6 or 10 times, whatever it was, when you do that, doesn't there have to be a reasonable sense of danger? And when a person's on both of his arms and legs with, 5 or 6 ICE agent or USBP agents on him, in what world is that justified?
It's justified under Tennessee versus Garner, Graham versus Connor.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the Supreme Court justifications for that, because what you're doing right now is what a lot of progressives do when they analyze this stuff, which is you're using the benefit of 2020 hindsight. And 2020 hindsight does not apply in use of force situations for this very reason, because what the officer knows at the time that they use the force is not going to be the same as you sitting here on a debate stage with your 2020 hindsight. So we don't go off of that.
And there's one thing that I've heard you say multiple times, Myron, and that problem that you've got is you're leaving out the third most critical court case that I don't think you've even said to any of the people in this audience. What is that court case? I imagine you know.
Go ahead, say it. What is it?
It happened literally last year, and it was a 9-0 ruling by the Supreme Court. You don't know this.
What court case is it?
You really don't know. Holy fucking
ahead,
shit,
shoot.
dude.
What is
You
it?
don't know about Barnes v. Felix.
So here's the thing. I find it interesting that you're bringing up a court case, quite frankly, when I'm mentioning what law enforcement uses all the time when it comes to what they're taught, use of force, etc.
Yeah.
Like this court case that you're talking about, there's a reason why the people that shot Alex Preddy and Renee Good are not indicted and or being charged, because, again, it's objective reasonableness based from the officer's perspective. Okay?
No, this is because, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
That's
this is
what it
because
is.
that this administration is unbelievably corrupt.
Oh, now it's a corrupt administration.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely,
great.
absolutely. But let's focus on Barnes v. Felix, because you know about Barnes v. Felix, right? You knew about it.
No, go ahead. Tell me about it.
How are you speaking on the use of force and you don't know about Barnes v. Felix? It happened literally last year. Barnes v. Felix was a ruling 9-0 by the Supreme Court that you have to look at the entire situation.
Yep.
You have to use the entire situation to understand
Totality
the
of circumstances, yep.
Exactly. The totality of the circumstances. So you do know about this because that was established under that. You do know about this. And I don't understand why you know about it and you're not telling the people in this crowd that. It's what a grifter would do. You see, you have no response.
No, you're just like, again, the totality of the circumstances works out more in my favor. I don't know why you're bringing this up.
The totality of the circumstances is something in Felix v. Barnes, and you said that you didn't know about it when you're using the language in Felix v. Barnes. You just fucking lied.
Okay, you're just obfuscating now at this point.
No, I'm
it's
pointing
very
out you're a
simple,
liar.
bro. Like, see, like you're trying to like deflect and bring up like, look at this case law here.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep this very nice and simple.
Yes.
We're gonna keep this very simple. They were there doing an immigration enforcement operation. I know you progressives don't like when they go ahead and enforce immigration because it hasn't been done in a very long time, but they were there lawfully conducting an immigration enforcement operation. The Border Patrol agent was in some type of situation with this female subject. He pushes her to the floor. Alex Preddy closes the distance, comes up to him, and assaults him. That's it. You can't do that. That's a crime. That's a felony. They pepper spray him, get him down to the floor. He's resisting. And it's interesting as well that he had been doing that for a while.
Look,
okay,
go ahead and well, you can say like, oh, because he touched
because
his
you're
hip,
using
it was
you're
unjustified.
using 20
But the
you're
problem
using
is, no, there was never a moment of deadly threat. There never was with Alex.
There's not a moment of deadly threat. The guy was armed.
He did ever reach for it?
Well, here's the thing: the agent that shot him from his left.
There were two.
Yes. The agents that shot him, or the agent, whatever you want to say.
There were two. That's a big difference.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And
the
none
use
of
of
them
force
are
is
being
still justified. The use of force is still justified. Again, they shot him from the left. Alex Preddy is right-handed. He was moving his hand like this, okay?
Wait. When he was shot?
Huh?
When he was shot, the first or the second times after he was getting up? What time are you talking about?
He was moving his hands like this. That's what the officers observed.
The second set? Because he was shot two separate sets. The first by the first officer.
When one person shoots, they shoot to stop the threat. Okay?
Yes.
So, again, you're using 20/20 hindsight once again as usual. But like I said before, when they're there, they know he's armed. They heard gun, gun, gun. Obviously, this is a rapidly evolving event. Okay? And he's moving his hands like this. As he was doing that, they did not know that he had been disarmed. They heard
Here's
a
the
gun
problem.
go off.
You're obfuscating, and you're doing it intentionally. And this is why I'm saying you're a grifter.
This is the fact
pattern.
No.
You're saying
this
bullshit.
Is the fact pattern.
Myron, you're saying bullshit. How much do you want to bet? $1,000 fucking dollars. Myron, will you take this bet? When he first gets shot, at no point did he reach for his weapon. Bet $1,000 right now.
The officers.
He won't do
saw
it.
him moving his hand.
He won't fucking do it.
Dude, you don't even you're over here just like, look, bet me $1,000 that this specific thing happened.
Yes,
that's
the thing
not
that
what we're
matters whether he should get fucking shot. Yeah, of course, you retard. What the fuck?
Okay, once again,
I'm sorry. I thought we were about free speech over here.
You know, it's interesting because he missed the dude.
Well, I'm sorry. So
the reason why you lose this debate is because it's very simple. You cannot touch a federal agent during the course of their duties. He committed a felony. He got pepper sprayed. He resisted. The officers at the time, the Border Patrol agents, had reason to believe. Well, they heard gun, gun, gun
in an open carry state.
Okay, that's irrelevant again.
Absolutely,
that has nothing to do with the fact pattern. Once again,
did he reach for it?
It doesn't matter if he reached for it or not. What matters is it looked like he was from where they were seeing. Remember, they shot him from the left. They saw his right hand going like this, and they shot. When
he was first shot,
dude, yo,
that's why you won't take the fucking bet.
Bro,
you know you're full of
shit.
shit.
Thank God that we have no lack of. Thank God that there's no 20/20 hindsight. Because you're sitting here. It's not about grifting. It's about you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Wait, yes or no?
You're sitting here.
Myron,
your opinion is irrelevant, and I'm going to tell you why. You're sitting here Monday morning quarterbacking a use of force situation that you weren't involved in giving your opinion. Quite frankly, it doesn't fucking matter what you think. What matters is what occurred in the Border Patrol agent's mind at the time he pulled the trigger.
Agreed.
That's what matters. That's what they're going to judge him on. And that's why they're not being charged.
You are absolutely right until the very end. Now, I will ask again, Myron Gaines, yes or no, when he was first shot, where were his hands?
I don't know.
What the fuck you mean? You're saying I said nothing wrong,
like this.
and
that's
you
what
don't
they said. And I saw the videos.
Myron, you as
you're
an
asking
ex-DHS,
me to point. You're asking me to
Myron, as an ex,
the millisecond when he was shot, where his hands were.
Yeah, that matters. How are you? If you work in law enforcement, you understand that the means of death are always by the hands.
Yeah.
I can't exactly. You know this. So then you know you're not being a fucking retard.
The only person that's going to be able to say that
let me talk,
is going to be the Border Patrol
agent. You
agent.
gotta let me talk because you know
it's going to be the Border Patrol agent. You're not murdering anything. You look like a moron.
You gotta let me talk. You're being a fucking
because we don't even have to get this far. He committed a crime. It's done. Do not touch and assault Border Patrol agents.
If you're not going to let me talk, we're not going to keep doing this. I'm grilling you, dude. You won't take
You're not grilling anything. You're wrong.
You don't even know where his hands were at the time when he got shot.
You're wrong.
Why won't you take the bet?
It doesn't matter.
Because you don't know.
It doesn't matter.
You're a fucking moron, dude.
It doesn't matter. The Border Patrol agent saw his hand going like this. What does that motion? He's going like this after they heard gun.
Did that happen in the video?
Yes, you can see it in the video. Yes.
No, what the very first time he was shot.
There were multiple angles. But what are you trying to... Go ahead, man. Just say what you want to say. Go ahead.
The point I'm establishing is that at no point in this confrontation, when he was initially shot, did he reach for his weapon. And you knew about Felix v. Barnes, and then you lied about it because it completely undermines your bullshit. That's the problem, because you knew about the totality of the circumstances. Because you know it.
Because it existed before that case.
The totality... No.
It's always been a legal term. Totality of circumstances has always been around.
Felix v. Barnes is the one that solidified that. It said it was the Supreme Court ruling, brother. And also, that's absolutely not true because other courts had this, it was like a doctrine of like, it was like narrow, it was a very moment of threat. So if you know in Felix v. Barnes, the officer jumped in the car and the car was moving and then the cop shot him. He was in a reasonable threat, but the officer put himself in that situation like a fucking moron. So then you understand that.
Once again, Alex versus Preddy, that's what we're talking about. I told you already what it was. Don't assault federal agents when they're doing enforcement operations. It's very simple. And don't be armed when you do it. And at the time, the officers had reason to believe that he was a danger or he was a threat. They shot. They stopped the threat. It is what it is.
So we'll wrap up on this. This horse has been beaten enough. If it is the case that objectively in the video, because you understand the concept of objective reasonableness, you understand that in the video, if at no point he ever reached for his weapon, even despite the officer shouting, gun, 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 in an open carry state, but he's never reaching for it, would that be unjustified?
What matters is what did the Border Patrol agents that fired their guns think at the time they fired their guns? It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. What they're going to be judged on is what were the facts that they knew at the time. And us having a discussion about that is really irrelevant to the facts of that case because he's going to be judged on what was known to him at the time. And that's what I'm saying why he's going to be legally justified, because a lot of law enforcement with that similar training would come to that conclusion of this is reasonable level of force based on the facts and circumstances. Don't commit a felony while armed, dude. It's that simple. You guys want to go ahead and try to justify it because you guys hate ICE so much or law enforcement, that's fine, but don't assault federal agents when they're doing their jobs.
Sure. To the next point, everything that's been happening under... I'm sorry I grilled your fucking guy, bro. Sorry, I grilled your guy. Myron, I'll let you call it. Bro.
Yeah, we'll go to the next person.
All right. Hey, thank you for having me here. I appreciate everyone, and the First Amendment truly is a beautiful thing. If you want to hear things from a more liberal perspective, we've got a tent set up over there. But everyone, thank you so much for your time. Myron, I think you do know better, though, truly. In my heart of hearts, I think you know better.
Thank you.